Hello. Hello and welcome. It is 5 o'clock and it is time for us to be doing our live at 5 chat with our friends. Hello and welcome. I'm sorry, my phone rang and I know it probably went out for a couple of seconds, but we'll be right back. Please drop some nines in the chat if you can see me okay and you can hear me okay. If everything is fine on your end, drop those nines in the chat so that I can see that we are still here. Everybody is still here. You can see and hear me. Ooh, the spots. Hello. Hi. Welcome. If you can see and hear me okay. Can y'all hear me again and see me again? Sorry about that. My phone rang. Everybody knows I do my live at 5 every Tuesday. But for some reason, the phone still is going to ring. Can y'all see me and hear me okay? Everybody's still there. I'm going to wait and give it a second because last week I went out too fast. I ran out too fast. I ran away and people were still there. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. Let me know. I cannot see the chat for some reason. If you can see me, you can hear me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. If you can see me, you can hear me okay. Drop some nines in the chat, please. I know y'all there. Say something. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. See, I just had to give it a second. Hello. Hi, everybody. Had to give it a second because, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off in a heartbeat and be like, y'all come back. But listen, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Thank you. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So good to see you guys today. Hello, welcome. Live from the camper. Yes. Yes. There is a fruit fly that is driving me insane. So that's what I'm like looking all around, trying to see if I can snap him. But anyway, hello, hi, Garden State Gardener, Lavender for Luck, Lion Crest, Bug Out Brad, Lisa Williams, Shirley, my friend Shirley. Hey, girl. Y'all, that's my real friend. That's my friend for real. This is not no internet friend. This is my real friend. Hey, girl. How you doing? Good to see you in my chat. Thank you for being here. Cassandra Dominic, hello sis. How you doing? Erica Taylor, my sister. How you doing? Miss Native Cherokee, hello. How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sorry about the shaking. Just bear with me for a second. Hey, girl with Hudson. How you doing? Welcome. So, I don't know if you guys saw the title because I literally just changed it. I just changed it. Midnight Green, how you doing? Your heart looks absolutely gorgeous. Those chickens are growing fast. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are growing really fast, and they're trying to be some little boogers right about now. Every time I put my hand anywhere over there, they want to try to peck me. So, yeah, we're going to have come to Jesus meeting. Come to chicken mama meeting or something. Hey, G Mama Grows, how you doing? Welcome. So I wanted to talk to you guys. We kind of sort of been talking about it because a lot of us here, we're used to prepping. We're used to gardening. We're used to a lot of us, depending on where you come from, you're used to just having to make ends meet. And so I was in the store today. The thing that made me really like, look, we got to have this conversation because I went to my Dollar General today. I got to come up with me a name for them too. got my $1.25 tree. I gotta come up with a name for them too. But I went in there today, and so just going to pick up a couple of things out of the store. You know, one of the things that I needed was my Clorox. You know, I feel a certain way about buying other brands versus the Clorox brand. But this is my second time within a 2-week period buying Clorox and feeling like I just got robbed. I felt like I just literally, I've been robbed with taking this thing to the checkout. I'm looking at these prices and I'm just saying, you still in commercial growing with Hudson. That's what I'm talking about, sis. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And let me just say this before I get started. I'm coming right back to the Clorox. Let me just say thank you so much to those people who have been here with me from the beginning, that are still here, that are still coming to support the channel, that are still, look, do better, y'all, about sharing my videos out. Do better, okay? I'm trying to give y'all some good content so that you can do better, okay? So if you see a video that I did and you think it's great content, and I'm thinking some of y'all are thinking it's great content by some of the comments that I'm seeing. If you're thinking that I'm putting out great content, please take the video and share the video out. This is the way people grow. Now, look, I know I share videos every day, okay, with people, because there's some great stuff out here. I really like it, and so I share it out. So I'm asking the same thing. If you like the content that I put out, please take it and share it. You can hit the share button, then send it to some people in your family, through Messenger, through Facebook, wherever it is that you like to go, where you can share the videos, where you can share the great content. I'm going to be working to improve on my end to increase the content so that you will want to share it. But please, if you like the channel, share the content, okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. It makes the platform where they're saying, okay, I'm going to send this out to more people. I'm going to send more people over to the Gigi Naturals platform, because there are people actually sharing it out on other platforms, not just ours. They're bringing in people from the outside coming into this platform. So if it's not going to cut you, hit the share button and share the videos out, okay? That's from live stream to the videos that I put, you know, that extra time into making and editing and all of that stuff. And y'all know I hate that. Share them out, okay? So thank you. Thank you again for being here. And to all the new people that have come in, thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. It does my heart good to see new faces all the time in the chat. So welcome. Moderators, if y'all see somebody new, y'all know what to do. You know what to do. Bring them in like they family, all right? Because they are. Hey, Andale, how you doing? All right. So now, let me get back to what I was talking about. Went to the store today, and I was like, this second time that I have gone, and I'm seeing my bleach bottles. I typically can buy like a gallon of bleach, right? Clorox. Buy a gallon of Clorox. I was mad when it went up to $5. But now, let me show you what I got. Hey, Beauty in the Garden, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Let me show you what I got now. This right here. This is it. This is what we are paying for right now. And let me just get my receipt. Where is this my right receipt? That ain't my right receipt. Is this my right receipt? Okay. Hello, hello, Pamela Wilson. Welcome, welcome. This is it. This is it. Okay. For this little jug right here, I paid $3.25. $3.25 for this. Do y'all know how bad that hurt? That hurt so bad. It really hurt bad. Let me put it into perspective for you. Okay. So here's my juice, right? Okay. Here's my juice. Look. This is what I paid $3.25 for. Now, the one that was a half a millimeter bigger than this, half a millimeter, was $5. It was $4.95. And we paid, taxes on goods around here. So yeah. It was $3.95, half a millimeter bigger than this. And I was just like, I refuse to pay $5 for that little thing that is just a little bit bigger than this. Yeah, shrinkage and higher prices. This is what is happening to us. And this is what we continue to support. So it's our fault. I didn't want to go get the other one because guess what? The other one that was this size, that was the store brand, was just as much as this bottle. And I was distraught a little bit. I can't lie. I was a little distraught. So to see that, to see it right before your face, you're seeing what they call shrinkflation. That's what they're talking about. You're getting less, but you're paying more for this. This is one of the things that I love. I love to have it around. But what are the alternatives? We got to start looking at the alternatives. So that's why I named this video Survival, or How to Survive Hyperinflation, because that's what's happening to us. Our prices are being just going through the roof. Things like tangerines that I have to buy in the off season, and oranges and grapefruit and whatever, all of that stuff. Seeing the prices is so disheartening. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Typically around this time of the year, we would just be running out of our tangerines, our grapefruit, our lemons. Good Lord, a bag of lemons is $5 now. That same $2 bag, $1.98 bag that I used to buy of lemons is now $5. I had little Gigi in the store with me. And so she went to pick up the lemons, and then she looked at the price and she put it back. And I was like, good girl, put that mess back. We ain't paying $5 for no lemons. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the things that we can do. I'm going to give you some of my ideas. We always seem to talk about, we're going to always talk about gardening because that has to happen. Gardening has to happen. It's going to be, your number one hyperinflation buster, okay, is going to be gardening. It's going to be growing your own vegetables, your own fruit, whatever else you want to grow that comes from your garden. That's going to be number one. That's going to be the first thing. We already know that, all right? But some of the people who have not gotten into canning, and canning is simply storing food, making food shelf stable is what canning is, for those who may be brand new to it and don't know it. So we want to make food shelf stable. And we do that through the process of canning. You can definitely go, and I have a playlist actually on canning. I actually have the first time that I ever canned is in my playlist. So if you're brand new to canning, then that's a good place to go to see the process, see what's involved. Um, Water bath canning, pressure canning, all of my videos are there in that playlist. So we definitely, we know, that we got to do that. We got to make sure that we're taking our extra food. We're not wasting our food. We have to make sure that everything that we are taking in to our homes, that we have to be using those things. Don't just let things go bad anymore. Like, money is too scarce. There are people who still don't have places to live. There are people who still are in homes that are probably unfit, to be living in. There's so much stuff that's happening right now that we got to think differently. We got to change our mindsets. We have to think differently than what we've been doing, because we are very, very wasteful as people. Particularly as Americans, we're very, very wasteful, and we throw away a lot of food. I saw a lady sitting, there's like a ham shop here locally, and there was a lady sitting in the back of that shop, and she was, getting food out of the garbage that they had thrown out. And so when I saw that, I was looking, I was kind of driving by, so I kind of slowed down and I was like, wow, that looks like a whole ham. So I'm not sure if it was like, I don't know, maybe it sat there, it was past time. I'm not sure what was happening, but it looked like she had an entire ham that she had pulled from the trash. And I just thought it was insane that at a time where people are hungry, families are hungry, children are hungry, right here in this country, which is supposed to be the greatest in the world, right here in this country, people are still hungry. And these companies are still throwing out food. Another thing was, I was in, I want to say, I'm not even going to call the name of that company out, but it was someplace where we can buy seeds, right? And so the seeds were sitting there, I guess, for a while. They didn't sell all of them. And I was asking a young lady, what they were doing, because they were taking the seeds out. And that was like one of my scary things anyway. Like, Lord, don't let them take the seeds away from us, because then we definitely can't support ourselves if they take these seeds away from us. And so she said, we have to throw them out. There's nothing that I can do. And if they find that I, as a manager, have been giving them to people, then I'm out of my job. I'm just out of my job. And I was like, I would never ask you to do anything like that. But this is what's happening. It's almost like, yeah, I know, little conspiracy theories, but eventually y'all gonna just call me that girl who was right the whole time. Instead of a conspiracy theorist. That heifer who was right the whole time. Yeah, that's her. But it's almost like it's purposely being done. It's almost like it's purposely being done. Getting rid of food, making things where they aren't affordable for everyone. That, people laugh when I call the Dollar Tree $1.25 tree, but I think that It's significant. That was a significant increase for some people who already are struggling to shop there. I just think that the increase was just significant. And it is super sad to me that I can go into a place like that and there are people still in there struggling, still in the $1.25 tree, and they're struggling to buy things that they need from their homes. So this thing is really important to me. Hey, Best Yet Journey. Hey, on that homesteader. It's really super important to me because all I can think is that at the drop of a dime, that could be me and my kids. That could be me saying, I lost my job. I lost my home. I can no longer afford to buy food for my children. And so that's one of the things that motivates me. It keeps me inspired to keep growing. It keeps me, like, out here at this RV park, people are literally coming to a stop now. Seeing, hey, Best Yet Journey. Did I say hey, Best Yet Journey? Audacity Donnie, how you doing, Uncle G? Seeing people drive by and they're actually coming to a stop right here so that they can look and see. They trying their best to see. But you know, I got my palm trees up. Like, I got to get me some extra. Got to get me some extra palm trees so I can block a little something out. Because I don't need people seeing everything, right? Black Guns, what's up, buddy? How you doing? I don't need people seeing everything back here. But they're coming to a stop now because they're like, whoa. All of these plants and flowers and I can tell them some fruit trees and all of this stuff going right on here at the RV park. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, I felt so empty when I first got here and didn't have my plants. I was immediately like, oh, no. We cannot do this. And I hooked up the trailer. And I was like, babe, I'm going to get some of our plants because they too far away from me. And I'm used to walking out my back door every day, being able to harvest something, whether it was just some celery or some cilantro or some chives. Hey, Eco neighbor. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Say hey to the family since you're coming in.
What's going on?
So being able to, you know, I had to hook up and I was like, I'm going to get some stuff. And he was like, okay. But listen, y'all, he was not ready. He wasn't ready for what I came back with. Because, baby, I had that trailer loaded down. Me and Lil Gigi, we had that trailer loaded down, okay? And we brought as many trees, as many fruit trees as we can get. They were big and heavy, but we worked together. We made sure that we went to get our stuff. Hey, James Franklin, how you doing? We made sure that we went to get our stuff because I was like, this just does not feel right. I'm used to going outside and being able to pull something off. And then, y'all remember my wall? Remember the wall that my husband built? GT Jr., how you doing? The wall that he built in the back, I used to grow herbs and vegetables, and also my bullets. I call them bullets. It was my grapevine holder. Yeah, so that I grew the bullets, the purple scuppernogs, those. I grew them for the first time. They were purple and they were delicious. Hey, Flex Tropical, how you doing? Hopefully seeing your garden will encourage and motivate them to grow their own groceries. And it has. And some of the, one of the ladies stopped by and she was like, she told my husband, she said, I was just so inspired that I went and bought me some plants too. She was asking me, she was like, where did all this stuff come from? Like, I'm like, it's mine. What do you mean? And she was like, I know it's yours, but like, where did it come from? And I was just like, I had it at a friend's house, and now I'm bringing it here. And she was like, I thought you caught like a sale or something. And I'm like, ma'am, that is like 5, 6, 7 years worth of stuff right there. No. I know you were lost without your garden. I really was. Hey, doing better with Mariah. How you doing? I love that you didn't give up just because your garden couldn't look like a traditional garden. Exactly. And, I am actually loving discovering just more about container planting. Because most of the time, with the exception of a short period of time where we were renting, I have been growing in the ground. I've been growing in the ground all of these years. So it's relatively new to me. There's only a certain things that I would grow in a pot. And most of those were herbs because I didn't want them to just get like lost. I didn't want them to get all over the place and just take over the whole yard. Hey Janet, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you, sis. And so most of my stuff I grow in the ground and not in containers. So now to be able to grow in containers, I see the blessing in everything. Hi Pescatarian Gardener, how you doing? I see the blessing in everything. And that's literally how I live my life, is by looking for the blessing in everything. Pescatarian Gardener, so true. Saw a lady with a bag of change in the $1.25 store trying to decide what she could afford. It's so sad. And I love those type of situations because it allows me to be able to step in, and get a little something, give somebody a little something extra that could be really, really beneficial. Let me try to hold this still while I scroll. Be really, really beneficial to somebody. So, I just make it a moment. I just take it and make that an opportunity to do good for somebody else. Cassandra Dominic said, I asked a restaurant manager, why do they throw away food when so many people are hungry? I was told that if it expired, food makes people sick, they could be sued for giving the food away. Gotcha. And that makes sense. I can guarantee you that if I were out on the street, I'd take my chances with that food potentially making me sick than for me to have to go for another 24 hours without eating. And that's just me. And I really am, one of those people where, I try to remind my children of how fortunate they are, how blessed they are. We went out to, I can remember the first time we took little Gigi over to one of the places where we were looking at land. And I was like, okay, there's a good chance that we might be living here. So let's look around and let's see what it's like. And she said, Mama, I did not realize I was bougie until we came here. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And, because a different environment for children that have been raised, how our children have been raised, like it's culture shock for them. It really is. So to see other children who don't have as much, and she doesn't even remember when she was in like elementary school. I don't know. She may have been in like second or third grade or something like that. And she was taking food to school to one of her little friends who would come with no food. She said she always just sat there and watched other people eat. And she just thought that was sad. And so she would come home so hungry some days. And she was like, and I said, wow, like, why are you so hungry? Are they feeding you at school? Did you eat your lunch that I made for you? And she was like, yeah, but I was sharing with my friend. And I'm like, okay, sharing with your friend for what? And she said she didn't have anything to eat. And so she started taking food, and I didn't even know it, but I just noticed that things were missing, like extras were missing. And so she was taking her friend something to eat. She didn't care what. So from that day forward, when I found out, I was like, okay, just, get an extra bag. And I started buying a little bit extra so friend girl could eat, So for me, it's those type of moments where you can help other people do so much. And so that's why I wanted to discuss this live stream today. So I wrote some things down, and I'm thinking frugally, okay? And so we have to do things like we have to get creative when the prices of things start to increase tremendously. Um, Living in Tallahassee, the city of Tallahassee utilities, like, off the chain. The prices off the chain. They call themselves the number one utility in the country, but okay, all great and good, but the prices are off the chain. Okay. And the state of Florida in general, it boasts and brag off of, we don't have certain taxes, but let me tell you, honey, they get you on the gas taxes, they get you on the property taxes, they get you on other things where, yeah, thank you for not making us pay food taxes. We appreciate it. But they still get you in other spots. And so we have to always be thinking, what is it that I can do in order to cut down on my expenses? So that was one of the things that I wrote down. Hi, Maria Graham. Is that we have to cut down on our expenses. I don't care, how much money you make. At some point, it's going to catch up, and you're going to feel the pinch. Regardless to how much money you make, you're going to feel the pinch of hyperinflation. So one of the things that we would do, just because, we are family, we've been through, just a whole heap of stuff, a whole lot of stuff where we didn't have, where we lost the home one time, we lost our car, pretty much everything. All right. So we've been in a position before where we did not have what we had what we needed, but we didn't have those little extras that we were used to, right? And so during those times, I had to learn, because it was still my responsibility to make sure that the family ate, that, the kids were going to bed and they weren't screaming because they were hungry. So, when we would go to the different stores, we would be making sure that we looked at other things. We were accustomed to buying certain brands, some of the bigger name brands. We were accustomed to doing that, but then we had to start shopping at different stores because it just makes no sense to try to maintain the same lifestyle when you don't have a job. It makes no sense to try to dress the same when you don't have a job. I carried that. I carried what I felt in those moments of difficulty over to my life even now. Even today, carried those things. When I make the YouTube money, it's going to somebody else. It's going to somebody else. And, maybe one day somebody will shout the channel out and say, hey, thank you, GG Naturals. But it's going to some seeds, or it's going to some supplies, or it's going to something somewhere that can benefit somebody, because you have to live what you preach. Now, that's just what I believe, okay? So if I'm out here telling people, thank you, Black's Tropical, it's all about sacrifice. So for me, when the money comes in from my YouTube, it's about sacrifice. My bills paid. I ain't hardly got no bills, but the ones I got, they paid. It gets sacrificed. It goes to somewhere else. Because for me, if I can do something simple, something as simple as buy something for somebody to eat, like things, one of the basic things, if I can help to do that, even if I can't take somebody in, take them off the street or whatever, if I can buy somebody something to eat to help them with a little more energy to make it through the day, then I feel like that I have done a little piece of something that can be really, really helpful to somebody else. Something that'll make somebody else want to also repeat that and to pass that on to help another person. So one homeless guy told me one day, as I was buying him some stuff, he said, sometimes just having the sugar gives you more energy so that you can make it further. And I was like, wow, I never thought about that, because I never had to think about that, if that makes sense. I never had to even consider, okay, instead of buying these sausages, buy this pack of candy bars so that you can walk across town. Sifting some soil. How you doing? Sifting some soil, 55. I do that a lot at the gas station. Listen, people are there because they know that people like you come through there. And this is why they will go to the gas stations. They will hang out there because they know people like you come through there. And they know if they can just find one person like you to help them out, then they'll be able to make it to one other location. I see homeless people getting run off from places because it's like nobody wants the homeless. Nobody wants you when you're struggling. We've had to learn that the hard way. Nobody wants you when you're struggling. Everybody wants you when they feel like they can benefit from you in some type of way. That's the only way they want you. They don't want you when you're struggling. Hi, Naked Gardeners. How you doing? Hi, Hands in the Dirt. How you doing? So it's very, very hard. If you've ever been through a hard time before, then you know as soon, Lord, have mercy. If you've ever been through a hard time before, you know just as soon as you lose your job, just as soon as you pay that car off, the motor about to go in that car, the transmission about to go in that car, and it feels like something is just kicking you. It feels like the universe is just conspiring against you and kicking you when, been there. Hey, Dan Permaculture, how you doing? Been there. I'm telling you, when you're down, it feels like everything is against you when you're down. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? And just wow. There's no other feeling like it, because that's a feeling of hopelessness. That's a feeling of helplessness. You've been there on that, Homesteader? Whew. Been there, baby. Been there. It's not a good feeling. And so when I see other people who, don't have anything, people with the signs saying, I just need a job. I lost my job. People out on the street with their children. A lot of people are one paycheck away from that, because most people live paycheck to paycheck anyway. So there are a lot of people who are just one paycheck from that. And so I want you all to be thinking and be considering that that could be me. That could be me. If I'm just losing a couple of paychecks, that could be me and my family out there on the street saying that we need a little extra help. That could be us. So regardless to whether you're 100K a year or you're a 20K a year, think on these things and look into, this is another thing that I wrote down, reducing the debt that you have. That's one thing that I had to do, was reduce the debt that I had. You know, just sometimes we get comfortable and we get, because we can. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Okay. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's what I had to tell myself. Just because you can do this, just because you can go and swipe, does not mean that you should. And you really should be making sure that you buying some of that stuff from the Aldi instead of from the Publix. We got to change our mindset and make sure that when the hyperinflation gets at its highest, like right now, it is crazy. $8 for a bag of those little cuties, the little cuties that we like to eat. I'm so sad that I have to like restart my tangerines and stuff, because for us, that was like our morning go-to. The tangerine tree, the grapefruit tree, those were our morning go-tos. Gigi, you are right. Most of us are 1 or 2 paychecks from being homeless ourselves. Think on that. Exactly. Remember, folks, you're only as good as your worst day. Amen. You're so right. We have to think before we spend money. And right now, when you have it, that's the best time to be implementing some of this stuff. I was saying at one time, when we were in a position where we didn't have everything that we wanted, we didn't have those extras that we were accustomed to, and we did have to go into survival mode. It was, you got to make sure that you, instead of 3 meals a day, baby, you're going to have to cut that back. You're going to either have to cut the meals back, like the whole family, 5 people in a family, you're going to have to figure out how to bump that chicken down. You're going to have to figure out how to change those portion sizes. You're going to have to figure out, how not to use as much oil. Have y'all seen the price of cooking oil? Holy moly. If y'all have seen the price of cooking oil, just ride to your store. Katina Brooks, hi. Listening while driving. You're on spot. Hot in Dallas, Texas. Welcome from Dallas. Hi, Christy Betts. How are you doing? So we got to think differently. Even when it comes to our houses, for those who have a house, are you paying the minimum amount that you can be paying in order to buy food? Because see, listen, I get it. And I always, used to make an effort to make sure that I was going to pay more regardless. I didn't care what else was going on, going to pay more towards that principal of that mortgage. But have you thought about going to your insurance company, going to your mortgage insurance company and saying, hey, are you giving me the best price that you can be giving me, because this insurance is feeling real high? It's feeling like it's just getting higher, but I'm not filing any claims. I'm not doing anything. So why is my insurance rate continuing to rise? Your car insurance. Have you called Geico and said, hey, Geico, I'm not driving this car over 30,000 miles anymore, because guess what? We are working from home now. So I'm only putting 100 miles per week on my car versus 400 per week. Reduce my rate, or I'm going to find another company. There are so many ways, so many different things that we have to think about in the house. In the wintertime, does everybody have on clothes? When my kids would come downstairs, and I know that my husband was out of work, but we still needed to be warm, or we still needed to cool down in these scorching temperatures. Do you have on clothes? Or you might have on too many clothes. You might need to take some of those off. Go ahead and step in the shower. Go outside and blow the water up in the air and just feel it. Let the breeze hit it and cool you down. My car insurance went up $30. $30 or more a month for no reason. They about to have me change companies. Yeah. And call and talk to them. Ask them, what in the world was this increase for? And what could you change? What could you change a little bit? What could you shift a little bit? What type of coverages do they have that would still be able to benefit you? Still be able to benefit you in the case of an accident, but that's going to cost less. What can you do? What can you do for me? I've been a value customer of yours. You say I'm a value customer, then help me to change this price. Don't wait until the mess gets bad. Don't wait until it gets bad. Do that type of stuff now so that you're not paying the maximum amount. Don't let them keep on increasing your prices and you haven't filed any claims. Nothing has been done. Them fools told me it was because of other drivers. Yeah, they real funny. They real funny. But I'm telling you, don't even tolerate that. Don't tolerate that. I will go on my account in a heartbeat and be like, okay, let me see what I can shift around. I got real good on doing that thing online. I got real good at shifting things around to make sure that I was not paying the highest price. And guess what? If something goes up, I want to know why. I want to know why it went up. Let's have a conversation, or let me get online and make sure that I am able to reduce this price. It's important. It's important for us to start living below our means. Dan Permaculture Food Forest. Just talking about paying that debt off. Pay that stuff off. I saw, oh, I can't say that. Yes, I can. I saw a lady that I used to work with. I saw her boyfriend walking around in a belt that she told me cost $800. $800. $800. I'm not talking about Jay-Z. I'm talking about normal, working, everyday person. That's who I'm talking about. Everyday people like me. This shirt came from Walmart. You think for 1 minute, for 1 minute, that I'm about to go and support some capitalist company who probably don't even like me and pay those super inflated prices for some stuff that it don't even look that great. But that's just to me. That's just to me. That's just to me. It probably looks great to other people, but it don't even look that great to me. And I think this is where the value of self has to come in. And so one of the things that I always brag about my mom is that she always told us how special we were. She always told us how great we were, even when we had nothing. Even when we had nothing. And I think that's a big deal with a lot of families today, is that they don't instill the power of the inner greatness into their young people, their young children. And so they'll buy things, they'll buy name brands, they'll buy all of that stuff. Say you need some bungee cord. They'll buy all of that name brand stuff from these disrespectful companies who could give not a half of a penny towards bettering your life in any type of way. But they will go and they will spend an entire week's paycheck or an entire 2 weeks paycheck in that young man case. Spend 2 weeks worth of paycheck knowing that you got to pay for these children that you're making out here. You got to pay that child support. You got to make sure that you got something to eat. Baby got something to eat. The baby got diapers, all of this stuff. But you'll go and put that type of money. Now listen, don't get me wrong. You can put your money on whatever you want to. I'm just telling you, it makes no sense when you're not ready for something like hyperinflation. It makes no sense to buy those type of things. You can look nice. You can still look nice and not do that. How many people even see the bill? Most people ain't even looking down there. Most people are looking here trying to see if you're smiling, trying to see if you're feeling good today, if something wrong with you. Most people are looking up here anyway. They're trying to see where your mindset is, trying to see, making sure you ain't wanting to harm yourself or nobody, making sure you got a smile on your face. They don't even care. How many of y'all cared about what I wore on here today? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. How many people cared and was like, man, I wonder what Gigi gonna have on today. What type of shirt she gonna have on when she come on this live today? Who cared? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't care. They don't care that you work a normal 9 to 5 or 12-hour shift job to make your money, and you're willing to go and spend that money on something that cannot benefit your children. I've seen so many of them be able to buy land. Eco neighbor, don't start no mess. Seeing so many of them have enough money to go and buy them some land, but they won't, because all they're not focused on how do I survive. Hey, Homestead in the Hood, how you doing? They're not focused on how to survive. They're focused on what can make me look a certain type of way. Not on survival. Not on making sure that I know Florida ain't getting shut down because our governor ain't having it, and I ain't mad at him about it. But if this thing gets shut down, if you get stuck in your colony or on your side of town or in your little community and you could not leave outside of that community, how would your family survive? Would you be able to buy apples? I don't know. I don't want to know whether I would be able to buy apples or not. I don't want to know that. So what I do is I make sure that I am buying in a way that things can last for my family. I'm not putting any more money than I have to outside of what's going to benefit my family. Yes, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to find the most tomatoes in a 6-pack that I can find. Listen, I have not bought not a single individual plant that they are over inflating the prices on. When I found the 6-packs, when we first got 6-packs here, now I'm telling you, I've been to Ace, I have been to Walmart, I have been to Home Depot, I have been to Lowe's. None of them have had 6-packs until just recently. And there are only a few of them. Lowe's prices are higher than the Home Depot prices. So guess what? Skirt, turn right around, go on back over there to Home Depot and get them 6-packs. And make sure when you look at them 6-pack that they have as many seedlings in those 6-packs as possible. So regardless to what level you're on, are y'all watching? Are you all watching that the celebrities are now buying up a lot of land? Have y'all noticed? Have you noticed that some very rich, very short person has bought a whole lot of land? But he ain't no farmer though. He ain't no farmer though. Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He ain't no farmer though. Hi, Grace to Garden. How you doing? Yeah, they buying a lot of land. Y'all saw Waka Flocka? You saw Kevin Gates and his wife? Drika? Yeah, out there farming. Mm-hmm. Because they know, but we're still trying to pretend like ain't nothing happening. Like this is all nonsense. We're still trying to pretend. So let's see. So let's see, a tip. Let's give a tip. Let's give some strategies. So one of my strategies is look for ways that you can make extra money. Hi, Miss Gigi. Blessings to everyone. Hi, Farm State 21. How you doing? Hello, Dark X. How you doing? Just got in from planting seed and building raised beds. That's what I'm talking about, my friend. That's what I'm talking about. Homestead in the Hood facts. Hold on. Let me see what Homestead in the Hood said. Hey, my Renaissance grandma. How you doing? Most people in NYC do not know they actually live on an island except Bronx. And what it means in regards to the approaching shutdown. So see, the small pieces of land, like listen, don't negate the importance of those small plots, those small pieces of land. This thing right here that we're on, this little piece of land, I be talking to my family. I'm like, what is this, like a 1/16 of an acre? Like this is a plot. This is a plot. My sister's garden is bigger than this space right here, right? So you got to understand that you got to plant anywhere you are, wherever you are, wherever little piece of space that you are in, plant in that joint. I'm telling you, get all that you can in there, because and do not negate the small pieces of land. I saw some land for $5,000, $7,000, $9,000. But they in the country, okay? Go to the country and find you a little piece of land. Does not matter how small it is. Find you a place of refuge. Find you a place to grow some food. If you cannot grow, if you don't want to get in trouble, with your HOA or whatever. If you don't want to get in trouble, if you don't want to grow anything in the neighborhood, if you don't want to put no chickens out there, if you don't want to, all of this stuff, find you a small space of land that you can buy. But the majority of us can do it. The majority of us can do it. If we stop paying all of them extra credit cards, matter of fact, a whole lot of people can take their credit card and get that cash off of their credit card and go buy that little plot of land so that you can be growing some food on that land. Or that you can put you a storage building on that land and you can be saving you some food, putting some canned goods, putting whatever it is that you like. Put it there now. Planting now in totes, buckets, and the ground. We live in the country with 1.2 acres and we work every bit of it. Listen, we were on like, I don't know, maybe like 0.3 of an acre. And you saw how much stuff we grew. I don't think some people realize that we used to harvest like 4 or 5 days a week. Just off of the little spaces that we had. Harvesting vegetables. My husband said, we went to the store and he said, I did not realize that I used to go out and eat in my garden every day. And he was like, so I'm so glad, that you're growing and you brought some stuff here and growing here, because I didn't realize that I literally used to walk out every day and get something to eat out of that yard. On that homesteader, I met someone last week and told her to plant some food. She told me she didn't have enough space, but she had all these plants on her porch. I told her to get 4 or 5 gallon buckets and grow some food. Simple as that. I was talking to a lady in Walmart yesterday when I went to grab some containers. Talking to her, she was one of the Walmart employees. And so she struck up a conversation because y'all know I'm always walking around in my grow your own food shirt or something like that. And I tend to have conversations with people because, walking around in that shirt. So, and she was telling me that, this is what was missing. And I'm looking at this lady and she said she was 64 or 65 years old and skin beautiful. She was looking younger than me. And I'm like, wow, I would have never known that you were that age. And so she was like, yeah, yeah. She said, but growing up, we had all of this food that we grew. We had all of this food that we grew in the garden. And it's not the same anymore. She said the fruit doesn't taste the same. None of this stuff that we get from the stores, she said it just does not taste like what my granddad grew. It doesn't taste the same. It just doesn't. Makes you go harder when you no longer have something. I grow a lot of food in small spaces. Grew a lot of pole beans, froze them until I had enough for the pressure canner. Look at that. Look at that. All right, take care, Homestead in the Hood. Hi, Angelique Dupree. How you doing? So it's going to make a world of difference if you are thinking now, if you're thinking in the mindset now, I have to make sure that in case we survive, in case we live longer, that we have something else that we can go to. And Dale said, no, food doesn't taste like my granddaddy's. And doesn't. Exactly. The food in the stores tastes weird compared to what we grew. Heirlooms over GMO. That part right there, Darth X. Right there. Get your heirloom seeds and make absolutely certain that you are saving those seeds. Save your seeds. Make sure that you are. Let some of those plants go to seed. Gotta leave for Bible study. Everyone have a good evening. All right, take care, Miss Shirley. But save them. Save them. Make sure that you always have them. That's one reason I was telling y'all I paid so much for those pepper seeds, because I wanted those particular peppers. And I knew that $7.95, almost $8 investment was going to be the only one that I needed to make. So that's how we have to think. We have to think, okay, how can I make investments that are going to benefit me long term? What can I do? Got to get creative. You know, wear those socks when it's cold in the house. Hi, my tiny garden. How you doing? Wear those socks when it's cold in the house. Put on a hoodie. That's one thing that we did this year. Put them hoodies on. We got to make sure that we discipline ourselves. Discipline yourself with stopping using those cards. Pay them things off. Pay those credit cards off. Don't let those people string you out for the next 7 years on paying a $500 credit card. Do the extra. Pay it off, and then use that extra money that you're going to have. Use that extra $40, $50 per month to put on something that's going to benefit your family long term. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Can, freeze, dry, dehydrate. I'm on my dehydrating. I don't have no freeze dryer, and I'll probably never buy a freeze dryer because I looked at the prices, and yeah. So if y'all have a freeze dryer, then you got a blessing. But I'll probably never buy a freeze dryer. I'll probably never buy that. But what I do have a dehydrator that cost me $40 from Walmart. And I have put years worth of work into it. I mean, you can dehydrate your peppers. I love some peppers. That's why I bought me a bunch of bell peppers. The carrots that I harvested. What I'm telling you, it's endless. All of these herbs and things. Ronnie Weaver says, I dehydrate in my oven. Yes. And I'll take my dehydrator, and I bought one of those kilowatt meters so I could test to see how strong things are. And so if you can't do it, if you don't want to use the extra electricity, guess what? Use your little solar power generator. It can handle it. But make sure you test yours first. Now, don't be saying I told you to blow your thing up now. But I got those paprika pepper seeds. Yeah, I found some. I thought I had them on the table, but yeah, I found some. I actually bought some last year, I believe. So I do have some. So thank you for checking on that. But yes, I got them. I buy 3 to 4 cans of salmon each month. Yes, because it is high. And guess what? It's delicious and it is nutritious, and you're going to get some good fat in your system, which the body is going to need to be able to survive, to be able to walk, to be able to move. One thing that we started doing just recently is me and Lil Gigi, we started going to the gym. And I was like, okay, couple of years back, yeah, I'm not gonna spend money on it anymore, and it's just sitting there and that. And I said, okay, now if I'm spending this money every month on this gym, we about to go to this gym. So that's another survival thing, is that you got to be able to move. You got to be able to move. So for me, it's no longer about, oh, okay, I need to go and lose 50 pounds. It's no longer about that anymore. It's about making sure that you can get up off your can. If you got weak knees, get in that gym. Work on those knees. Work on strengthening those muscles over those knees. My husband said, I noticed that you've been like your energy level has been on go. Like you've been on go. And I'm like, yeah, I really am. I really am on go because of just getting back into that gym. That's a survival thing. It's not just about trying to get in no dang swimsuit. It is about survival. Back in 2020, me and him were walking 5 miles a day. We were going to get those 5 miles in just about every day. We were going to get those 5 miles in. And then we slacked off and we just got off track and we weren't doing that anymore. And so I was like, okay, something has to change. Because if I'm just tired and I ain't did nothing, there's something wrong with that. This thing is about survival. All of that other stuff is secondary. So training is really important. Another thing I wrote down was building relationships with people in the medical community. Even if they're not in the medical community, someone who has had medical training. Because guess what? If your insurance, if you didn't have a job and you had a medical need, how would you get assistance? See, a lot of times what'll happen is if you have a certain type of insurance, and see, my children have been on, I can't remember what Georgia called it, but they have been on the state program before. I'm telling you, it got bad. They've been on the state program before. And the way the doctors treated us or just wouldn't even see us because we were on the state plan, Peach State, because we were on the state plan as a low-income family, some of them didn't even want to see my children. They didn't even want to treat my children because they were on Peach State instead of the private insurance that we had. This is what we're up against. Yeah, this is what we're up against. So we gotta think, hey, Indiana Backyard Gardener, we gotta think ahead. And that's one thing that it taught me, is that we have to think ahead. We have to make sure that we got as many bases covered as we can possibly have covered. Because thankfully, you know, I have people in my family who are nurses, who have been nurses for a long time. That happened to our children also. And it's no joke. It's no joke. When you see your little one, and one of the doctors told me, I don't want to say a certain thing in this medical report about your child, because when your husband finds a job again, I want them to be able to get insurance without having a pre-existing condition. Mm-hmm. It's no joke in these streets. So, you know, get out of your comfort zone. Find people who know more than you. If you around people who are, let me just say this. If you are consistently around people and you're doing better than them, there's something wrong with you. You got to step outside of that. Get with people who doing better than you. Get with people who going where you're trying to go. Don't just hang around because it makes you feel like the big person. Don't just hang around with people who are not doing any better than you're doing. There's no growth in that. There's no way to grow in that at all. If you're consistently in the presence of people who both of y'all looking at each other like there's no help to be had. Do you know any lawyers? Do you know any doctors? Do you know any pharmacists who can help you out? Do you know any teachers? The blind leading the dang on blind. It's sad. It's really sad. I believe in growth. I believe in consistently being on a path to growth. Two dull knives can't sharpen each other. I like that. I like that. There was somebody very special and influential in my life that would always say, remember, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. Remember that. And I had this one, my nursing instructor. Before I, went off with my life, that was going to be my profession. And I decided, literally right before I finished, like I had a semester of education to finish. I decided that I did not want to go into that profession because I didn't want to be stuck and poked and prodded and all of that stuff. And because I got really, really sick off of having to have a shot one time when I was working in the profession. So I decided that I wasn't going to continue with that. But my professor would always say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And, I'm 18 and I'm sitting back looking at her like, ma'am, what? Had no clue what she was talking about. But let me tell you, life, baby, life will show you. It will show you what an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure means. And so all she was saying was that if you don't be reactionary, you be proactive. If you're proactive to things, you don't have to be reactionary and you don't have to find yourself caught in a bad situation that is so hard to dig yourself out of. You don't have to do that if you go ahead and prepare ahead of time. Hello, Brenda Allen. How are you doing? If you go ahead and prepare ahead of time. Oh, yes. If you never had hardships, keep on living. Keep on living. Just keep on living. Keep on living. And I can assure you that it'll see you sometime. At some point, it's going to see you. Hard times are going to see you at some point. That's why I'm like, I'll tell people about mine. I don't mind. I don't mind saying that, you know what? There are some situations that I have made that were just bad. They were bad. Decisions. Some decisions that I have made that were just bad decisions. And it cost me. Those are the best lessons, though. That's why I'm like, I love to fail at something. Hey, Jay Weezy, how you doing? I want to fail at something because there's always a lesson. Why are you all in my business this evening? Listen, honey, I'm in mine too. I'm in mine too. But the family has to know that we have to make sure that we are prepared ahead of time. Stop being reactionary. Reasons, seasons, lessons, and blessings. Amen. Amen to that. We got to be prepared ahead of time. Because once you get to a point where you don't have anything, there's something about the mindset and knowing that you don't have something that will push things so far away from you. It'll push things far away from you. Birdie Sloan. Hey, how you doing, Birdie? Good to see you. Hey, Raina Love, how you doing? There is something about when you ain't got it. And you know you mentally telling yourself, I don't have it. And there's something about that energy. I know, some people they don't believe in energy, but the universe is made from energy. There's just something about it. When you tell yourself I'm broke, it's gonna be like, you sure are. You sure are. So you can't have nothing. And this is why I'm always saying, listen, I don't want to hear the negative talk. I don't want to hear the nonsense. I want in my presence. I want in my space. That's why I don't deal with gossipers. I don't deal with busybodies, because it brings a negative energy on me by just being around those type people. There you go. There's power in the tongue. You can speak life and death through your tongue. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, here's another thing. Stop buying all this new stuff. There's so much stuff that you can buy that will be just as good, right? It'll be just as good as buying things brand new. And you're going to save a whole lot more money. You're going to save a whole lot more. And I get it that there's a stigma about buying used things and whatever. I get it. Yeah. But for me, in my house, we're going to buy used. We're going to buy used. That extra $30,000 benefiting my family in some type of way. I keep speaking and God keeps showing up. Not just for my household, but for my entire community. That part. Because everything about you affects that person that's next to you. It does. Yep. Yes, Indiana Backyard Gardener. Stretch the dollar. Stretch it. The best way you can. Stretch that dollar. Let's see, what else? Oh, this is a big one. Here's a big one. And a lot of people, they don't believe in this, but shared living. And I think we're going to be forced to get back to it, right? So shared living. If you have 4 adults living in a home versus 2 adults living in a home, how much less could you spend on living expenses? You could share food expenses. You could share this. I'm still mad about my $3.25. You can share expenses on things like this. You can share the light bill. You can share the water bill. You can share cars. You can share gas. Hey, Michael Farmer, how you doing? You can share all of these expenses. Ooh. Other cultures will have 10 people in a house, but we can't even get along. And listen, that is so real. Indiana Backyard Gardener. That is so real. GT Junior, you can acclimate a lot when they have like-minded people in the same space that can contribute. And this is precisely what my friend and I, my husband, talk about. Because we know that we have a like mindset, because we know we have a like mindset, we know that we always, bouncing stuff off of each other. We bounce ideas off of each other. The type of entertainment that we like is similar. We know that we could get some land together and we could live together there on that land in peace and in harmony, because we have a similar mindset. So that was very important, Indiana Backyard Gardener. Very important. Get with people who have like minds. And you can probably share expenses. The society preaches independence. I don't need anyone mentality, and it does. And it does. But we all need each other. We all come on here. We come to meet on here every Tuesday because we have like minds. Ooh, my Renaissance grandma said she spent $3.99 and it wasn't even a Clorox brand. Yeah, but this is what's happening. This is the type of thing that we're going to be up against. I picked up some cans and they were like this big with green beans, and I'm like, that is like one fork full of green beans. Like, what are y'all doing? And it was the same price as the regular 8-ounce can. It was the same price. Absolutely. Absolutely. The right people are a resource to you. Yes. They are a valuable resource to you. Whew, valuable resource. So it's important to be around the right people, just like in your everyday life. Just like in your everyday life. Be around those right people, around the people that are going in the same direction that you're going. Get your mind prepared to be uncomfortable. Yeah, one forkful. Is that little old can? Yes. Sandra living in full of life. Sandra living a full life. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, it was one forkful in that can. And so you got to get your mind ready to be uncomfortable. But guess what? You could be so much more comfortable if you're not having to do everything. If you're not having to do everything by yourself. If you have a 4-bedroom house and there's only 2 people living there, somebody else could come in and help. Somebody else could come in and help you. But we have to open ourselves up. We got to open ourselves up. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want anybody else in our space. We just, even at the benefit of ourselves, we don't want to be uncomfortable. Even for our own benefit, we don't want to be uncomfortable. And I just think it's a little strange. It's a little strange to me. So that's why it's important to get with people who have the same mindset as you, or have a very, very similar mindset as you. Because if you're not on the same page, listen, you might need to let them go their own direction. All right. And so what about transportation? What about different modes of transportation? a lot of the students and things around here, even before all of the madness happened, a lot of the students were riding their bikes. They're riding scooters. They're riding these little mopeds through traffic. And, you know, you like, okay, get this thing out of the way, put that thing on the sidewalk or in the bike lane or somewhere. But it's helping them. They're smart. They're really smart using alternative transportation that is going to make that almost $4 per gallon gas last a whole lot longer. Bicycles. They got electronic bikes, which, you know, I would want an electronic one because, like, you know, them seats, honey, them seats, whoo. When you got a certain size something, them seats, honey, they be torture. I'd rather walk. But anyway, them seats be torture. So, hold on. I got a bike in the garage just in case. And you know what, Micro Farmer? Eco Neighbor bought me one last year. Went and bought me a bike, and he was like, we're going to need this bike, sister girl. We're going to need this bike. So, you know, he likes to ride bikes, but I was just like, I don't want it. I don't want it because that seat is going to do things to me. I don't want that bike. I don't want it. But guess what I do? I get my tail on that bike. Look, I can't even tell. I can't talk to you about that, Micro Farmer. Hey, Veggie Farm Garden, how you doing? I can't talk about them bikes. I just can't. It just ain't no good thing. It ain't no good situation. It just ain't no good situation. So, but you know, if you can find something, again, you can find the used mopeds, you can find the used scooters. They have the electric scooters here around town. And you know, you can just kind of drop them off wherever you drop. They charge you. They'll charge your credit card, so you can put your card in, and then wherever you drop it, then they'll come and pick it up. The city will come and pick it up. Don't even need a license for a moped there. Look at you. Hi, Bill's Backyard Garden. How you doing, sis? So we just gotta think outside of the box, because hyperinflation is real. I am seeing it. My area is full of food mostly. You know, you have every now and again, you'll go into, like my husband went in the store and he called me and he was like, there's like no meat. And I was like, I tried to tell you. Then people coming on, ain't nothing going on in Tallahassee. And I'm like, all right. We gonna find out. But when, you know, it was ugly at one point, and now, you know, it's looking prettier. It's looking a whole lot prettier in our stores. And, you know, we only have maybe once every 2 weeks or something where you go in the store and you be looking around like, all right, y'all still playing. better store you some food up. But for the most part, we have plenty of food here now. And guess what? The prices have gone at least 25% higher. At least. The fruit and vegetable section, they have doubled. They have doubled. Yes. Better learn how to cook. Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. It's gonna change your life. One of the things that we did the other night was, well, last week, we went out to Blackhaven and cooked over an open fire. And she does that all the time. I don't know if y'all saw her a couple of videos, but she does all the time. Just getting those skills up. So I went out there, cooked over that open fire. My girls make me sad. They do not want to learn to cook. Listen, at some point, they're just going to have to. They're just going to have to at some point. It's either that or you just go totally raw, plant-based. I mean, people live like that too. I was just listening to someone talking about how much chitlins cost now. Even the guts, the bowels, even the bowels, even the bowels. I'm so grateful. Lil Gigi wanted to cook at an early age. She was probably 4 or 5, and she wanted to cook things. And I would get a chair and put her up to the stove, let her learn how to make some eggs, and then she just wanted to do more and more and more. And Sister Girl is like chef like. She can really get down. She can really get down. Yeah, but we all have to play a part. We all have to play our part and do what's going to benefit the family. So it's not gonna cook. It's not gonna kill them to make them get in there and learn a skill. I made my girls learn how to sew a little bit. I don't care if it's just the basics, but you're gonna learn how to get up to this machine. Oh, thank you for the cash app. Thank you so much. I just saw that pop up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Everything has risen in price so much. Everything is the worst possible time for this type of inflation. Not that there is ever a good time for inflation. Never. It's never for me either, sis. Never. Cuties are 12 and some change here. And see, I was trying to complain about ours being $8. Apples in a bag are over $10 here. My son asked why when he saw them. I reminded him again why we moved and why I prepare for a rainy day and why I teach him. And this is why we have to, whether they like it or not, we have to teach them these things. They ain't gonna die. They ain't gonna die. My kids would try to complain about anything, and I'd be like, but did it kill you? It didn't kill you. You all right? You're still here. Since I just cleaned 40 white trout. Oh my, do you know I love me some trout. I have since I was a child. Wow. That I caught today since the live started. Black Guns and Gardens. You over there showing out. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. That right there, start them early. Yes, yes, yes. Black Guns and Gardens over there showing out. Wow. That is incredible. But though these are the things that we're gonna have to get into doing. We're gonna have to learn how to catch some fish. We're gonna have to learn how to forage for some things, or get somebody close to you who can hunt for you. We got to, because these prices are getting outrageous. And what are the people going to do that already are struggling to shop at the $1.25 tree? How can we help anybody if we're not first ourselves prepared? We can't help anybody if we're not prepared. We can't help a soul. We can't help a soul. But this is why we have to be growing. Grow more than what you need. Because number one, you got to look out for other people, right? I mean, if you want to. I would recommend it. Look out for other people. There's some other people in our family that we know that, they can't do for themselves. So we have to fill in that gap. So you're looking out for other people growing things. You got to think about the insects, the pests, the bugs. They're going to get some of it. They're going to get their part. And then you have to think, what if somebody came in your yard while you and the family are asleep and they take some of your stuff? I mean, that's going to be a real possibility. This is why I don't want everybody seeing everything that I have going on back here. I don't want them to see everything. I definitely don't want them seeing my chickens. Because, you know, people been stealing chickens. They've been coming to take people's chickens because they're like, okay, I'm going to survive. So we got to be preparing for a variety of situations, right? And so if we're prepared for the pests taking some of it, if we're prepared for sharing with somebody else, and we're prepared for a little bit of it getting stolen, then we'll still do all right. We'll still do all right. So that's why, you know, I'm growing a little extra. And I was like, okay, what are you going to do with, like, one tomato thing had like 9 in it, and the others had, you know, 6, 7, 8. I was like, what you gonna do with all this stuff? And then my other self was like, grow it. Mm-hmm. We growing all of it. I don't want nothing to go to waste. I don't want any of them to go to waste. I want all of them to survive. That's why I did that video yesterday on growing tomatoes and peppers, because I don't want any of them to go to waste. I want all of them. I want every single one to be successful. That's what I want. Because guess what? If every one of them is successful, that means that my family can eat off of all of them. That's what it means. That's 10 or 15 extra jars of canned tomatoes that is on our shelf versus, you know, yeah. That's just how I see it. So let's change our mindset. Let's make sure that we are putting something to the side. Make sure that we're not giving any of our extra money to things that are not going to be for the benefit, direct benefit of our family. All this extra that we give into these corporations that is not going to be for the benefit of us, we got to stop it. We got to stop. GT Jr. said, ooh. Oh, okay, you're talking to somebody else. Jane said, GT Jr., my dad about the same thing with me. My first garden was when I was 13 and had one ever since. See? Hi, Kimberly Adams. How you doing? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm listening to you and planting vegetable garden, trusting in y'all to guide me through the first year of growing my own food. And guess what? You will receive that. You will receive that. And guess what? You know what you're doing. You take a plant, you put it in some soil, you water it, you protect it, you take care of it. You know what you're doing. So tell yourself, I got this. I got this. I got this. You got the right ingredients. You got the right ingredients. I talk to my plants. I pray for them. I pray over them. All of that. Yeah. All of that stuff. And guess what? Our harvests are wonderful. They're already, always, our harvests are wonderful. Even when I didn't get as much as I thought that I would get, my harvests are always great. Like, who can walk out in their yard every single day and get something to eat out of their yard? I got this. I know an eco neighbor. Hey, Tracy Jones. How you doing? Yeah. So just get started. Get started. Get started and say, I got this. I got this. I can do this. I can do this. But this is why we are here. This is why we are making these videos. This is why we're showing people different tricks and tips and different things so that they can know for sure that when they put something in the dirt, in the soil, when they put something in the soil, that they're going to eventually get something because they're going to protect it. They're going to protect what they put in the soil. Make sure you're not giving it too much water. Make sure that you're giving it enough water. Give it a little something to eat. We love fertilizing with our food scraps. We love fertilizing with our grass clippings. You know? So even if you don't have money to go and buy blood meal and bone meal and triple 10 and triple 12 and all of this stuff, if you don't have the money to buy that, then don't. If you eat every day, make sure your plants eat every day off of what you have left over. And that's it. You'll get it. You'll get it, and you'll get great harvest. That's wonderful, Kimberly Adams. You don't have to know what you're doing. You are doing it. Bill's Backyard Garden is a classic example. Out here growing. Her little apothecary. I'm sorry. I be telling stuff. Listen, that's one of my G Tribe members, and she is out here killing the game. Our people, we are in there and we talking and we're giving information and we asking and answering questions, and we are supporting each other. We're supporting each other's seed habits, plant habits, cuttings habits, all of that type of stuff, so that we'll be sure that we're going to have enough food. One thing about the G Tribe is we gon' eat. Period. We are going to eat because we are growing food. All day, every day, we growing food. Bill said, and Lord knows I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. Doesn't stop me though. Period. Don't let it stop you. Period. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. Yes. Yes. It's a G thing. Yes. So, anybody got anything else you want to add? Like, how can we beat hyperinflation? We might not be able to beat it, but how can we survive it? Anybody else got anything else to add? How we can survive this? You know, going back to the meals, like going back to the 1 meal per day, right? Or 2 meals per day instead of 3. So one of the ways that we do that is that be content with living beneath your means. Woo, that's fire. I love that. I love that. I love that. Love that. Oh, you threw me off with that one. That is something serious. And this is how a lot of, if you think about the wealthiest people among us. Black Coffee, hey sis, how you doing? You think about the wealthiest people among us. They're not the flashiest ones. They're not the flashiest ones. Not that they don't spend any money, but they don't want to walk around jingling. Because when you walk around jingling, you draw attention to yourself that you don't want near you. You don't want that. You don't want to walk around with bells on, not the people who actually have it. They don't want to walk around with bells on so that everywhere they go, somebody is like, that's interesting. I wonder what I can get. I wonder if I can take 5 or 10 of those bells. So they don't walk around jingling. You'll never know. You'll never know the ones who really have it. But your attention stays on the ones who walk around jingling, the ones that really don't. That's where your attention stays. And so the ones that really don't are the ones out there getting robbed and all of this stuff because they're walking around jingling like they got it. And they lose their life because somebody thought that they had it. Yes, Eco Neighbor. We were talking about that. We were talking about that. Our health being our wealth. I was telling about me and little Gigi. We hitting this gym now. We getting back moving. It's not even about all this physical stuff anymore. It's about making sure that when it's time to move, you can move. We got to do that. We got to do that. So, Christina said, yeah. Everybody wants to the poor people wants to jingle, but trust me. You can save a lot of money by enriching your soil so it can grow more stuff, collect your seeds, and grow new things. Be creative and use what you have the best way you can. Learn how to cure meat. We definitely need to do that. We definitely need to do that. We need to learn how to cure some meat, make some jerky or something. That's been one thing that's on my list. Haven't done it, but it is definitely a skill that I had to learn. Had to step away. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, we got to have skills. We got to. Little doggone fruit fly is killing me. Or is that a mosquito this time? They love me, y'all. The mosquitoes love me. That one look bigger than a fruit fly. Might be a mosquito, but anyway. So just okay. Do me a favor. We talked about this in the very, very beginning of the video. Veg Farm Garden. Thank you. So, if this video was helpful, take the video, share it out. Share it to somebody else. Share it to your family. Send it through Messenger. Send it on. If you are on Facebook, share it. Share it. Because there are a lot of people on there. There's a lot of people on there that are growing, but there are a lot of people, especially on my timeline, they're not growing yet. They're not growing yet. So that's telling me a lot of people need to be getting this information. And so I'm going to stop this and leave me a comment. When this video is off, leave me a comment on one thing that you got from this video. One thing that was very helpful to you. If this was helpful to you, when I turn this video off, leave me a comment saying that this is what I got out of the live today. All right. So thank you very much for hanging with me. I'm sorry I kept you all this long, but thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me for a while. Eco Neighbor, what food do you think will last the longest? Anything to me, I personally, I don't know. That's a good question. I was going to say canned food, but at the same time, I'm thinking some of the dehydrated stuff lasted a very long time. The things that we didn't just go ahead and like dig into. So I don't know. That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Bell's Backyard Garden, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Black Coffee, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So dehydrated lasts and takes up less space. Yes. And that was one reason, Indiana, that was one reason that I wanted to make sure that I had a dehydrator. That was one reason. I wanted to make sure I had a dehydrator because I really wanted to have some stuff, dehydrate some stuff, and I still have some things that are dehydrated, put in my mason jars. I jam that stuff in those mason jars. I have so many peppers, different types of peppers that I dehydrate and I put in the mason jars that is not even funny. So, you know, just make sure that you're doing something. You're doing something that's going to help and benefit you and your family in the long run. So yeah, versatility is important. So that's why I do kind of all of them. So, but anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you guys. Take care of each other, love on each other, give each other big hugs, and you know, look out for your family, because there are some people who have medical conditions and things where they aren't really able to do for themselves like they used to be able to do. So make sure you're taking care of those people as well. So be sure to leave me a comment after this video goes off in 3, peace, 2, and 1. See you guys later. Remember, when you grow it, you know it.